Hello everyone, Nick here, and this is a video that I had to make because I was going through a lot of horrible things over the past couple of months, and I'm going to do everything I can to explain as much as I can. There's a lot of information, so I will break down as much as I can, and I'll try to be as concise as possible, but long story short, my opponent, Kobazco, is going on a witch hunt to basically label me all these horrible things and use a horrible narrative in order to defame me, slander me, and do a bunch of other things to stop me from competing in world records. Kobazco has taken a bully approach by calling themselves the victim and then saying, I'm a bully, so that way it's convenient to their story that they are the victim, and the victim cannot be a bully. So, hi everyone, I'm Nick, the Gaming Otter, and if you don't know me, I make a lot of Street Pass content on YouTube. So, there are three important people that are in this story. There is Kobazco, the opponent. My opponent is named my opponent's name is Kobazco. Um, then the other person is Evo, who's the accomplice of Kobazco, and the mastermind Shane of Street Pass Love. So I know it's a lot to digest, but I ask you that you listen to me. There's a lot of things that Kobazco doesn't have because Kobazco conveniently makes the narrative and shifts the narrative to their benefit, but I will try to fill in the gaps from my side of the story, guys. So let's get started. So one of the things that Kobazco did, right, is they used a past drama to assert that I'm a horrible person. So one of the things that we will get back to, we will have to put into a pin into it, is they're trying to say I'm a predator, right? So here's the thing about the 7-year-old drama, right? Let's get into it. So there's this tweet right here that talks about this. New info about the gaming honor. Thanks to the anonymous user who step up, who I know the anonymous user. Thank you for laying this up. I know who this worthless person is. They keep bullying and harassing me, and they did that on Discord. But let's get on to it. So Kobazco is getting this tweet from this worthless person, and it's referring to a stream by the name of Etika. Now, here's the thing. That stream, while it was on Etika's channel, it was perpetuated by Triforce. Triforce Isaiah Johnson is one of the most cancerous people in the entire fighting game community. And I'm honestly not going to get pushback from that because that guy is awful. Like, Mewtwo King hates Triforce. Knuckle-Doo hates Triforce. Justin Wong hates Triforce. Basically, everything you need to know about Triforce is there's just a den of evil, as Carl Jobs said a while ago. So anyway, let's get into it. So there are two DMs I'm going to look at, and then I'm going to explain the story with a video clip. So here we go. This is from 7 years ago. This was talking to Gabe, who was on the launch line. Um, I might need to give context. I apologize. So, Triforce and I were friends for many years. I confronted him on the launch line for owing me money. So, to pay me back, he decided to launch a scandal and have these two people lie about me that were underage. Now, this is a very common thing with Kobazco. Kobazco is using Evo, their accomplice, to throw me under the bus to basically say, oh, this is my age, so you're a bad person, predator. That's not the correlation here. The correlation here is that you're upset that something didn't happen your way, so you're using a bad scenario that, one, is not related to you, two, is not as actually bad as you're taking out of context, and three, using it to bully me and harass me in front of the rest of the Street Pass community. And I just want to state, for the record, the Street Pass community is made up of multiple communities, Kobazco. I didn't assign myself the leader of the entire Street Pass community because there is no leader of the entire Street Pass community. There are multiple Street Pass communities. But Kobazco, I'm going to make it very clear to you. If you want to take your Street Pass community and bully my Street Pass community, we have a problem. And we're going to have to talk about it. But you're just going to play the victim moniker and call me a bully because you don't want to talk to me. Because I'm a weirdo, a creep, and ugly. So explain that as if you're being a victim when you're bullying me. So anyway, let's get into it. All right, so this is Gabe's tweet from like private message. So I was asking about PAX, doesn't have money. When I said I could help you out, right, Gabe? That was referring to me giving you advice. So this is a very similar thread with Kobazco. Kobazco is taking bits of information from Evo's DMs and I, and is using that to create a story and everyone's believing them because no one likes me. That's the narrative that Kobazco is treating. Right. So this thing, and then we have to get up top here. There's Derp Nation. There's the other kid that Triforce used in that live stream. Apologies, folks. So let's go up here. So this is, I did meet the Princeton at PAX. I never actually did, by the way. So all those things were true, so they misspelled true. I'm sorry if I fooled anyone, just had to get that off my chest. Well, you did fool people, and you did it out of pocket, dude. So let's get to the video clip that I had and explained the scenario years ago, so that way Kobazco can understand it more, because Kobazco doesn't understand things. Right. So here's the video clip. We'll play it right now.
I met Triforce back in 2011 at New York City Comic Con. He seemed like someone who knows a lot of people within the video game community. He made a lot of promises to me about bridging connections within the video game community and networking. He asked me to pay for 2 plane flights for him, one for a pro player of his in Empire Arcadia, and one for him to get out of Paris, France. He promised to pay me back, and he promised to give me all these connections that fell through. He lied about everything. I confronted him on the Switch line launch. He played it off that he didn't owe me anything because of how the situation that he was in. Then after the Switch launch, he bribed a little kid to go on a live stream and tell people how inappropriate I was, but it was all a lie, to basically make me look bad. And that is Triforce, aka Square, a sociopath of who he is.
Right. So that was that scenario many years ago, and it's very hard when you get unfairly canceled when someone who tries to play as the underdog and tries to play as the victim to bully you and harass you online. And unfortunately, that is what Kobazco is doing. They're using Evo as this narrative because Evo is a underage person, and they're constructing this thing, even though, funny thing enough, Evo lied about their age years ago. So, right, I have the screenshot and I can show you Evo lying their age. So, Evo was on my Tomodachi Life uh, episode a while back, and this, in fact, shows you he claims to be 24. Right. So, if we do the math, right, Evo is lying about their age in order to gain access to talk to me, which is illegal. There's other things that Evo is doing that is really kind of suspicious and sus, which honestly just shows that Kobazco will take any source, no matter if it's not trusted, to basically slander and defame me. There is another person that we will get into, and it is Shane of Street Pass Love, which unfortunately, but we need to get into the meat and potatoes, which is the speed running aspect, right? And then I have to layer everything in. See how much this is? It's really exhausting, guys. So anyway, so let's go to the harassment case, right? All right, so here we go, right? So this is them talking about, to anyone reading this as a friend of Gaming on, I doubt it, says countless things about me in private, calling me a cheater. Da, 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 da. I want to make it clear that all this was never about the world record. Right. That's totally wrong, Kobazco. It was always about the world record to you. You didn't like it, and you wanted to prop up and frame things as if because of the fact that I won, I am a bully through speedrunning. You are not a bully through speedrunning, Kobazco. Nobody is a bully through speedrunning. You couldn't handle the loss, and you're being a sore loser. Now, unfortunately, that is sad when someone loses, but they have to take it. And the fact of the matter is, I respect my opponent, Kobazco, for doing a hard job. Kobazco is a pioneer, right, by being a trans non-binary person. That's their identity. Now, we're not talking about their identity in terms of the competition side. We're focusing on the behavior and the actions of Kobazco. And that's the problem we have here. So I will be going over everything as much as I can, but guys, it's a lot, and this person is feeding a lot of trash to people, and I have to try to clear up as much as I can, despite the fact that Kobazco is very jealous and upset and is taking some very bullying-ish behavior by playing a victim and getting people to feel sorry for Kobazco to lash at me, because it's the only way that Kobazco can empower themselves, by lashing as a victim, by bullying me. So, alright, so it was never about the blah blah blah, never felt safe. You were always safe, Kobazco. I was never gonna talk to you. You didn't want to talk to me, and I made that very clear. That's fine. But the problem is, Kobazco, you're gatekeeping. Like, the problem with Kobazco is gatekeeping the world record by not being approachable. And I have to go through a complete arduous obstacle that's unnecessary to play this game because Kobazco doesn't want me to win. Kobazco is so hell bent to make me look bad that anything I do is bullying and harassment, and I'm ugly and I'm horrible and this and that and the other thing. So, right. So, oh, there's been new screenshots, right? They just keep doing this all the time, right? Is this the ones where, right, there's all this stuff. I'm not going through all of this. Kobasco, please don't waste our trash. We're only focusing on the important parts that I'm focused on. Yeah, this is how much they're putting me through right now. So they blocked me. So let's get this point out of the way. I'm 36 and they're 24, right? Right. Kobasco, you're a 24-year-old. You're an adult. So act like one. That is part of your behavior, and that is what I'm criticizing. That is totally fair and within my rights, right? I'm not I'm not insulting you. I'm telling you what's wrong with how you're treating me. That's a critique. But what you do, Kobasco, is call me ugly, a creep, and a weirdo. So when you do that to me, I'm just like, well, I can't be friends with you, but I'm still gonna go for this world record. I don't care what you think about me, Kobasco. Okay? I respect you as a person, but I don't care that you're forging this narrative to put me down because you're desperate and sad. Right. So, hey, listen, man, I was down to talking about Find Me and even some panelists, but you're coming off too strong. Have overall combined with replies on Twitter. Now, like, obviously I posted stuff for a reason like issue, but combined with you being in a DMs message, wanting to instantly do a voice chat, blah, 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 comes off creepy. So, right, there's the first insult. They call me creepy. So then they say that my face is going to jump scare them. That's where they call me ugly. So you can see that Tabasco is taking this weird, perversive kind of victim moniker to call me a bully to benefit their scenario, right? So we have to talk about that all the way through because that's what they do. So I left them alone, right? Because I wanted to speed run the game and I did it myself. And I beat their record and I credited them because, right, I wanted to be respectful of my opponent. Right. Just because my opponent doesn't like me doesn't mean I show my opponent disrespect. It means I show them good sportsmanship. Kabasco's reaction is poor sportsmanship because no matter what I do, I'm always in the wrong. If I try to compliment them, they think I'm a weirdo. If I try to criticize their behavior, it's an insult. So we see this a lot with Kabasco, right? So I beat your world record, the race is on. So I'm trying to be friendly with this whole scenario. And mind you, even though, right, let's get something also out of the way. Even though Kabasco has blocked me on Twitter, this does not give Kabasco the gatekeeping right to stop me from speedrunning. So no, Kabasco, you cannot stop me from speedrunning this game. You don't want to talk to me on Twitter, that's fine, but you cannot stop people from playing a game that they love just because you are a person that plays the game too. You cannot do that. Stop that, Kobasco. Right. So let's get underway. So now this is alarming for a reason. I blocked him 2 months ago. Wait, why is it alarming, Kobasco? It's alarming because I beat your record. I played Find Me. I've played Find Me longer than you. I played Find Me since 2011. Are you gatekeeping this game? Because it just seems like you're gatekeeping. So all right, so for obvious reasons, I blocked him. Blah, 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 blah. Sorry, guys, this Google Doc is really hard to maneuver. All right, so here's the thing that's really funny, or I should say sad. So they talk about the 3DS systems and waiting between 8 hours. There's no rule, right? There is no rule against doing that, right? I want to make it very clear. There's no rule on Find Me that says you can't own multiple systems. We can go through the rules. The rules are present. I even screenshotted the rules. The thing is that at the end of the day, Kabasco just wants to make things convenient and be a hypocrite so that way anything they do is right and I do is wrong. So that's kind of also another thread. So let's go back to the thing, right? So brother, which I think is his brother, harass us. So, right, I never harassed you. My twin brother, right, his goal was trying to help me. And I'm sorry if my brother, if it looked that way, but you're misinterpreting the story for your benefit, Kobazco. And you need to stop that. You need to stop misinterpreting the story for your benefit. Because at the end of the day, it's for the competition's benefit. And if you're losing, you have to accept that. So anyway, so they homebrewed it, and here's a big thing that they did that cheating that we have to get into. So while writing this argument, Instagram deleted the post. You'll just have to take my word for it. That's a big thing that Kobazco wants us to do. Kobazco wants to take a word for everything. You know, Kobazco, when I have to take your word for something and you don't have anything and you just call me a creep, a weirdo, and ugly, I don't really take your word for it because you're just slandering me and you're using all these people against me. So let's get into it right now. Right. So these are all a bunch of screenshots. My brother talks about that. So my brother just wanted to defend me. Look, Kobazco, my twin brother has a really awful heart problem, and I've been trying to get heart surgery for years because we don't know if he's going to be living past 40 or 50. He has aortic stenosis. So if you want me to go to the doctor's office to show you Kobazco, I'll do that for you too. But I've been doing this so that way my brother and I have joy in my life. But you just want to label my brother and I nasty because it's the benefit of your plot, and you've lost the plot, Kobazco. So here's him replying to original comment, been deleted. I remember it being particularly nasty, right? So you don't have this comment, so again, we have to take your word for it, right? So when you do these things, Kobazco, no one really wants to take your word for it because you're just using a narrative that's to your benefit. And unfortunately, this is a very common thing with narcissists. They dismiss, they deny, they devalue, and they basically just push the person away. And by you doing this, Kobazco, it's just making it look worse. So, right. All right, so let's get into this. So then I talked to MeWe because I didn't understand things and I couldn't talk to you, Kobazco. And look, Kobazco, I'm trying to respect you as much as I can, but you don't give me many ways to respect you because talking about the game is disrespecting you. Talking about the game does not disrespect you. Talking about the game is about the game. It's nothing about you. But you just seem to make everything about you. So anyway, so this is a big thing. They're calling me a clout chaser. Again, the insults. They're the bully, but I'm the bully, according to Kobazco. Um, so about the hacked thing, that's really important that we have to get into. So this lack of homeland thing, that's a very important thing that I have to cover. That I timed it, right? And when I timed it, the lack of the homeland sped up text speed, Tabasco. And you know this, and that's why you changed your game. So what does that mean when you knew something and then you changed it because I brought attention to it? That means admission of guilt, Tabasco, and that's what you're doing. You're playing an admission of guilt game, and you're trying to hide with your tail behind you because that's the only thing you can do. So let's get back into it. All right. So there are a couple of other things that are interesting. There are a bunch of other tweets on this thing about the issue. Mind you, I'm asking questions, right? I'll just show you one of the tweets, right? So I blocked this person, and I said competition is part of the scene. You need to respect both sides. So again, Kobazco is trying to take this narrative that I'm not being respectful of them when I'm trying to be respectful. But again, because Kobazco wants to slander, insult, and say things, they just throw a fit and they say, "Oh, you made a game horrible to play. You're bullying me." Look, Kobazco, I have to deal with 6 siblings. I'm the youngest of 6 kids. You know how many times that I would have to lose a game and I had to accept it, and how someone would win? They would call that bullying and harassment. So, no, that's not bullying and harassment. That's part of the competition. You're taking a story and you're twisting, again, a narrative. You lost the plot. So now you have to launch this campaign to tell people that I'm a horrible person so you can get me banned from speedrun.com. And we'll actually get into how I appealed the ban the first time. Because it doesn't seem to mean that you understand because you're so obsessed with yourself that you think I'm obsessed with you. This is the parasocial problem that Kobazco is playing off. Right. So here we go. So then I did Find Me Too, and mind you, when I did Find Me Too, let's show the tweet. I have a new record here, and let's notice one thing that's very important, and I'll tell you right away. Right, there's no Kobazco in it. Kobazco, it's not about you! Kobazco, my records have nothing to do with you. You are on the leaderboards just like I am on the leaderboards. And when you get a notification, that's not me sending you a notification, that's the leaderboard sending you a notification, right? So when the leaderboards send you a notification, am I bullying and harassing you? Or is you thinking speedrun.com is bullying and harassing you? Because they're just doing their job, right? I am playing these games because I want to compete in them, and I am a competitor, and you have to accept that. And you just play these games where you play the victim to bully me. Again, let's look here. There's no mention of you here. Is there a mention of you here, Kobazco? No, there's no mention. So, and then I'm doing both prior to. Right. So there's also no mention of you. So, Kobazco, I need to understand something. If there's no mention of you, I'm doing this on my own accord. I don't care what you think. Am I bullying and harassing you? No. What are you doing? You're losing the plot, so you're making a narrative that makes me look bad. So that way you can ban me and you don't have to deal with me. Oh, and we'll get into your bullying at PAX. That was really ugly. I had to go through a lot of stress. And yeah, you stalked me at my Street Pass panel. You Street Passed my twin brother? That's not cool. So, anyway, so here's this part, and I have to pull it up. So I'll give you one moment, guys, to look at this right here. All right, so let's get into the big, cyber stalking claim that Kobazco is claiming, right? So Kobazco said that I knew that Kobazco was there, right? Because why? Because I either checked the attendee list or I stalked their Twitter. So let me make something very clear, Kobazco. When you blocked me, I respected you by not following your Twitter or caring that you were there. So I'll tell you why I know that you were there, right? Are you ready for the big reveal? Right. You know what you did? You actually made a big faux pas. You agree to be in a public match! Right, when you agree to be in a public match, that way everybody knows you're there. And you're like, well, what's the date of that? Well, see, the funny thing is, January 6th? Hold on, 7th, right? So let me make it clear to you, Kobazco. You agreed to be at a public event, and you emailed speedrun.com and you told them it was a private event. That event wasn't private. You lied to them. And this is a big problem because you keep lying to the speedrun database, and I'm really tired of it. I'm really tired of you lying to people about me too. So please stop. And this will be my one of many warnings to tell you to stop lying to people about me to benefit your story so you look good to other people so you can launch yourself on a cloud chase. Because you're the cloud chaser, not me. Is that the fact? So let's get into the rest of the story. So, right. So then I made a comment on an AGDQ thing because I noticed a run that they were in, and I saw that they were on 4 screens. Again, Kobazco, that comment had nothing to do with you, but see, every time I see something of yours, it's always about you. I don't understand this about you. You're just, like, so obsessed with, like, everybody that says things that's not even about you. The 4 screens in a tough game, that comment had nothing to do with you. I wasn't even bullying or harassing you. You're bullying and harassing me about a simple, inane, innocuous comment. What is your problem, Kobazco? So, let's get into the rest of this. Alright, so prior to CMs, I only know to be providing context about packs. Right, so we're going back into packs again, the first screenshots. So these are the conversations. And mind you, if you look at this, this is pretty innocuous, guys. All I wanted to do was run the game. And what is this telling you that they're showing these screenshots? It means they didn't want me to run the game. And why did Tabasco not want me to run the game? Because Tabasco doesn't want competition. And by Tabasco doing this, they're basically putting a gatekeeping on the community. They're telling people what to believe. They're brainwashing and manipulating people to believing their side of the story when I don't even have a chance to defend myself. And so when I'm at PAX and people are bullying and harassing at PAX because Kobazco is launching this horrible campaign to hurt me, I can't even focus on things. And we'll get into all your, your puppeteers of your, Evo and Shane of Street Pass Love, because there's a lot more I have to cover. And luckily, I'm almost done with this part, thank God, because I've already had to do enough. So, right. So there's that. It's a pretty innocuous conversation. Again, I was trying to be friendly. Randomly, after discussing the panel a bit, he sends me this. I wasn't interested in anything. Okay, I got that. Mentioning the strat he ended up using, and his brother saying I didn't create. So, mind you, she's taking this out of context, right? This was months before this, right? I want to let you know, guys, she can't even, like, Kobazco, can't even, like, put things in order. And this is how disorganized it is. And I don't know what to do. I'm like, Kobazco, you're making the story difficult because you want people to take your side and you're putting things out of context. You want us to take your word for it, but yet you don't even know where the chronological of everything is. How am I supposed to take anything you say? So, anyway, so right. So we get to the last part. Honestly, the recent tweets about LBM. So I want to say this to Kobazco for Kobazco's benefit because I do apologize for something. Kobazco, I'm really sorry that you think that I'm bullying and harassing you, and I'm going to be very clear and blunt and to the point and clear. I have no intent of harassing you. I have every intent in enjoying video games and enjoying the things that I love. But if you want to take the things I love and bully and harass them at me, then we have a problem. And you cannot play the victim card because it fits your narrative, and that's gross and disgusting and nasty. So there was one thing I wanted to talk about, which was Shane of Street Pass Love. So Shane of Street Pass Love was on my panel, and there was a part where someone asked me about the whole speedrunning thing, and I said, and I had to talk about you, Kobazco, but I talked about you in a way that didn't reference you, and I talked about how you made it difficult by calling me uncomfortable because it was easy for you to block me and to not talk about the speed run because at the end of the day, I couldn't do anything and I had to do everything myself. So you're putting up all these walls, you're making it uncomfortable, you're calling me a bully because you're the victim narrative that you're playing, and then on top of that, you're having people around you defend you in a way that's manipulative, in a way that's basically protecting you unfairly, protecting you disgustingly in a way that makes you look untouchable. And so for that, I'm sorry, but shame on you, Kobazco. You don't do that. So anyway, we have to talk about Shane from Street Pass Love real quickly. So Shane was on my panel, right? And there's some pretty bad problems with Shane, guys. Shane basically was a double agent, folks. And why do I say that? So we have to go back all the way to the reason of the transphobia thing. So right, so that's what speedrun.com did, right? Speedrun.com banned me for transphobia, right? But mind you, I never engaged in that. This is what Kobazco is telling people to say. Because this is the context that Kobazco is using. So, and this is a one tweet, actually not even a tweet. This is just one DM that they're using, and they're saying, "Oh, my bad, she, they." Right, Kobazco, correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm trying to respect your pronouns because I am respecting you. Your pronouns on Twitter are she, they. What are your pronouns? She, they. So me correcting and making sure that your pronouns are correct is respecting your identity as a trans person. You're not respecting me as a person because you're trying to launch this homophobic campaign that because gay people are around kids that they're predators, but that's what you're doing. And you're taking this one fact, this one thing I said, and you're twisting it for your benefit. So here's the thing about Shane, right? Shane said you shouldn't have continued talking about her, especially that we recorded. Right. I had to tell that story, Kobazco. I'm sorry that it made you uncomfortable, but you made me uncomfortable when I had to go against a speedrun against someone who wasn't talkable. And then, by the way, you're a moderator on that site, right? You're a moderator. My brother pointed this out. So my brother is defending me because you're using this victim narrative. And I'm sorry, Kobazco, but when you're playing the victim narrative, you don't win. So I'm tired of you taking everything out of context. Right. So we need to show you this. I need to show you this. So, very normal thing to say instead of owning 11 systems and that you have to. Oh, wait, doesn't mean anything when you're a mod of the leaderboards. Right. Kobazco, you're a mod. You have power. You can manipulate the speedrun database for your benefit. You should be banned for what you're doing to me. But because you have so much power, you can launch any attack, any narrative you want. You can play the victim just to hurt me. Do you see how that's a problem? Do you see how much I struggle through my life? Do you see how people don't accept me because people like you are hurting me? How I can't talk to anybody because you just want to use your identity to attack me? I can't stand that, Kobazco, and I won't be let down by you. So don't think I won't stand for this. I'm sorry, guys. It's really hard right now. Right. So they have multiple systems too, right? And that's the point that they're making. So we need to go back to Shane real quickly, and then we'll go to Evo, and I'll wrap out this video. I know it's a lot to take out, but because Kobazco has things in weird, it's hard for me to put things in order too, because again, Kobazco. So I might make a Google document with everything as well, if push comes to shove. But I apologize, but it's hard for me to defend myself when my opponent just harasses me about their identity by using their supposed accusation of transphobia, and I've done nothing but to respect Kobazco because we're part of the same family. We're part of the LGBTQIA. Start acting like a Kobazco. So, anyway, there is also another member of the LGBTQIA, and it's Plain Rock, and we'll have to get into that as well. So, Plain Rock is a bit of a controversial figure. Why? Because Plain Rock is does weird things online, and I'm not gonna punch corners on this, but Plain Rock does and says things for views and clicks, and sometimes also gets taken out of context. Now, the thing is that let's focus on the more important parts. So, one thing is that we know that Shane invited Plain Rock, so Shane's the mastermind behind parts of this. So Shane invites Plain Rock, right? So we see this. Should I accept? We're hosting a gathering. Your hotel will be covered in your. So this is what happened, right? Shane made this promise, right, to cover Plain Rock's thing. But what does Shane do? There's a majority chance the PAX West panel will fall apart. Just a fair warning. So Shane tried sabotaging the panel, and on top of that, backs out of the panel and makes a claim that because, again, I'm sorry, Shane, you didn't cover your bases because you went to Europe and you made all these promises and you had a commitment with me, but your commitment with Europe was more important. You could have talked about Street Pass Love at that panel, but you talked to Kobazco, and I saw the DMs, and I know what's going on here. I'm not stupid. Okay, you guys? I'm not stupid. So, anyway, I'm not going to PAX West. Financials are overwhelming. Excuses, excuses. My August trip is booked for the 3 other trips. So basically, let me get this straight, right? Shane, you made a commitment, but then you had other trips booked. Why didn't you pick the more important one? So PAX wasn't important to you, or was Kobazco more important to you? What's going on here? Can you please tell me? I really don't understand this here. You're treating me like a horrible person because Kobazco is playing this victim narrative to bully me. I'm really tired of that, and you really need to stop, Shane. So yeah, we have this horrible stuff where they don't do anything. They basically just make excuses. So we offered to fly Plain Rock right. So let me tell you what happened when I met Plain Rock. So Plain Rock came in and basically Plain Rock was like, "Yeah, Shane didn't compensate me the ticket, so he didn't even offer." No. So yeah, Shane, you lied to Plain Rock. You want to talk about that? So, you know what that's called, Shane? Fraud. That's called fraud. When you lie like this, that's fraud, Shane. You don't do that. You don't lie to your panelists and tell them and make promises that you can't keep, or at the very least, be transparent. Because I'm going to let you know something, Shane, here, right? I tried my hardest to have my friends do what I can, and I showed due diligence. You, Shane, however, did not show due diligence. You backed out of the panel, conveniently, and you did all this stuff behind the scenes that made me look bad. So why are you doing that, Shane? Because it's your benefit? So anyway, guys, this is basically Shane's whole thing is, oh, well, I offered Plain Rock. Well, considering that Plain Rock told me that you didn't pay him back, and honestly, I wanted to help Plain Rock, but I'm not in a position to help Plain Rock, so I apologize to Plain Rock. But yeah, should I accept? That's what Plain Rock said. There's Kobazco's tweets. So I'll go if you comp my flight along with my hotel. That right. So they're addressing you right there. So I need to also address something else, guys. It's very important. One of my fan members tried to defend me. Why? And we'll get into this, and we're giving a big special shout out to them. Thank you, Musion. Musion called apart Shane, and it was trying to get apart Shane, And then Shane says, remove that screenshot of my discords. Yo, I'm the friend of someone who runs the events. I think he's gonna cover your flights and hotel. Right. So Shane was one of the main organizers, if not the organizers, after I'm the moderator. I'm the one that oversees the panel, and Shane is the one help organizing things. So as the organizer, Shane, you failed. You failed hard. And when you made those promises, my friend Musion pointed you out. And what do you think that means, Shane? That means you frauded them. You lied. So I'm sorry for having to get upfront with you, but I have to be upfront. And we'll get into the Evo stuff because that's even more gross. But yeah, we have to remind you guys that Evo lied about their age. Oh, and one other important thing that I would like to point out, right? Kobazco harassed my panelists. Right. Kobazco kept going into my DMs and kept saying things that were untrue. They were pointing out 7-year-old drama that was just debunked. Because Kobazco doesn't do research and doesn't care and just wants to throw a train in my face and play the victim to bully me, that's all Kobazco can do. Because Kobazco is playing this narrative to stop me from competing. And Kobazco only cares about the world record. So every time Kobazco says they don't care about the world record, that means they care more about the world record. So I'm sorry for getting upfront, but I don't know how else to say it. And I do suffer from autism, but sometimes I have to say it when people lied about their social cues. And I'm sorry, Kobazco, you're the bully all along. You're the awful person, and I'm not standing up for this anymore. And I'm not letting people bully and push me around like you do. So anyway, I'm standing up for myself, guys. So here's a whole bunch of tweets with, mind you, these are tweets with minors, right? So Kobazco has a whole bunch of minors following them, but yet, because of the fact that I put my boundaries up to Evo after Evo came out to me, and we'll get into the whole thing about Evo's conversation shortly, guys. So, right. So, here we go. So, I talk about the high school drama. Kobazco, smiley face, oh, they're stacking me. They're stalking and harassing me. 29 replies. They're getting harassed. Yay, I'm Kobazco. I'm harassing the gaming otter, but I'm the victim. That's how Kobazco is treating it. That's how Kobazco is treating it. See, guys? Kobazco is the victim here. They're the victim bullying me. That's the key part you have to take away. So, yeah, can't link the thread because I'm blocked, but basically I know the panel he's hosting at PAX. So again, they're making me look bad after all the work I did to put in that panel. But Shane dropped out, guys. Shane dropped out. So, they're going through all these tweets, and then they're bragging. Thank you, everyone, for getting the Gaming Honor banned from the Speedrun database because I'm using this victim narrative, right? So, we'll also get into this behavior in the tribute video. Okay, so remind you guys, Evo lied about their age. They said that they were 24. They said they were born in 2000. So, Evo had been talking to me since 2020, and that's how much they've been lying to me. So now we have to get into the Evo DMs, and I will talk about everything I can as possible, right? So here we go. Mind you, there's a lot of Discord DMs that are taken out of chronological order. So I'm gonna remind everyone that Evo revealed their age, right, in August of this year. So they're saying, right, Kobazco is using this narrative that depends on me knowing Evo's age. The internet is all about anonymity and not knowing anything. So can you really understand something from someone's perspective when they don't know someone's age? The answer is no. So that being said, Kobazco, again, is using this up, setting this up, like I know their age all along, and I don't. So, let's get into it. Alright, so the following images from the gaming order. Oh, lied about my age. Complaining about and obsessing me to a high schooler. So let me make this straight. I'm not obsessing about you, Kobazco. I'm having a normal complaint about your behavior and your actions, and you're bullying me. That's what this is about. So if you, Kobazco, are trying to, lose the plot by gaining the plot by manipulating a narrative, you're wrong. So, if these images are too low quality, you can view it here. Alright, so, are going to PAX? I wish I could fly you. Right, let's get into that comment. I wish I could fly you. I wish means thoughts and prayers, means sending positive vibes. It does not mean I'm going to give you. So Kobazco's argument about me talking to Evo is all hinged on me wishing goodwill onto other people. Kobazco, wishing goodwill onto other people is not a threat. I'm going to repeat myself again, Kobazco. Wishing goodwill on other people is not a threat. But you, Kobazco, calling me a weirdo and a creep and ugly, yeah, that's a threat. That's you insulting and harassing me. So, all right. So, get into this last page contribution. Right. All I'm doing is just being friendly to Evo. We talked about the world record. Right. Here's a big problem that I have to explain here, guys. Kobazco is my opponent. And no matter who my opponent is, I respect them by trying to compete against them. And Kobazco is setting it up like, he's competing against me, he's bullying. No, Kobazco, wrong. Competing doesn't mean bullying. Competing means I have the right to fight for the record as much as you do. So please stop referring to his competition as bullying. Because that's not what this is. That's your narrative. Alright. So his message made me very uncomfortable, blah blah blah. You know, Kobazco, this would just be so easy if you didn't play the victim and was just an adult. You're 24, act like an adult. That's all you gotta do. You gotta talk to me. Do you not like that I'm competing? What do you have a problem with? Please talk to me. But again, you're blocking me as a defense mechanism of a lot of copium so that way I don't compete. And that's what you're doing here. You're doing that as an effort to wall me. Now, I've had to deal with a lot of people over the years that have mistreated me and misguided me. And unfortunately, I have to stand up for myself because I have to be an advocate. You're not an advocate, Evo, because I'm sorry. You're not an advocate, Kobazco, because you have Evo advocating for you. So you have all these people advocating for you, and you're dogpiling on me. Do you see how this is a problem? You're dogpiling on me because it fits your narrative. Oh, Nick is a predator because he's talking to a minor and he's wishing goodwill, so that's bad. Okay, Kobazco, let me be even more clear, right? Talking to someone underage does not make them a predator. If you're going to use the A minor argument, you might as well do your research because you're not doing your research. You're constructing a narrative and you've lost the plot. And I'll repeat that as many times as I need to. All right. So, his logic of insulting me and harassing me, right? I'm not even insulting and harassing you. I'm just being honest. And Evo is defending you because Evo just wants you to win. Evo doesn't care about the world record. Evo just wants you to win. His logic of insulting me and being mean as a YouTube comment. I'm not even being mean to you. So, right. So we're going through all of this, make stuff up. Again, I have the conversation started on my document. Okay. So, right. We already went through that, guys. We already went through that. We don't need to go through that again. So, this is all the cobweb of lies. So, I was upset. Let's get something clear here. I still did not know Evo's age. I still thought that Evo was 24 because why? Because Evo gave me their age in Tomodachi Life and said that they were 24. So this whole trauma dumping on a minor is wrong because Evo is not a minor at that point in time until they reveal that they're a minor. And also, it's only convenient to Kobazco's plot because Kobazco doesn't like people doing 9-to-5s. Is that a problem, Kobazco? I have a hard job and I have to do it every day, like everybody else. Do you have a problem, Kobazco, with my job? What's wrong with you, Kobazco? So, anyway, I'm not trauma dumping to a minor. You're just using this narrative. Okay. So here's the part where they reveal that they're minor. So I do the shock face. Okay, well, thank you for disclosing that. So I'm understanding that. And then I talk about, like, where are your parents? So I tried to explain, right, they're missing all right. So I asked about their parents. We'll have a family visit. So I tried to explain things to Evo that I will not meet Evo unless Evo has his parents present. But Evo was trying to play this weird game because Evo was talking to Kobazco at the same time. You see this problem, right? Kobazco is playing this narrative that, unfortunately, because Evo is a minor and Evo is coming to Kobazco, they're doing all this good to protect Kobazco's world records. But it's not about the world records. No, 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 no. You have to ban me. Oh, his records weren't. Guys, the gaming auditor's records were not removed from the website. That's not how that works, Kobazco. When you ban someone from the speedrun database, do you know what you do? You make it so they can't compete anymore. So you remove your competition. You are bullying me, Kobazco, by removing your competition. Bullying by removing your competition is against the terms and policies, and you're breaking the rules, and you're breaking the law by using Evo as your accomplice. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what else more to say. My opponent is clearly sick and has a lot of problems and wants to play this game because they're desperate, because they're sad, because this is the only game they can play. And I apologize to my fan base that they've been having to see this past months. But I don't know how to talk to people because I'm a big creepy weirdo, according to Kobazco, that fits their narrative. So here, let's talk about how you were at my panel. And I'm just going to round this out with this. Right? So, Kobazco, you were at my panel. Oh, what do you mean the street pass functionality? Someone said they saw you. You came into my panel. Oh, here's the proof. That's where you are. You're right there. That's me. That's you. Explain to me, Kobazco, how did you come into my panel? I had the PAX staff ban you. You broke PAX policy. Let me make this clear. You disrespected PAX for your own benefit so you could go on a vigilante. To make me look bad, so you could ruin my day after all the stress, the anxiety that I had endured, so that you could slander, so you could defame me, so I could never speedrun again for your benefit. Do you know how sick you are, Kobazco? Do you know how sad? You're laughing at me. You're laughing at me because you don't care. You don't care about competition. You only care about yourself. You only care about everything that makes you look good. You only care about your own self. You don't care about anybody else. You're a narcissist, Kobazco. And I'm sorry for being upset, but you won't stop, Kobazco. So I have to do something. And I'm tired of you using all of these people narratives. I'm tired of you using Shane to derail me. I'm tired of you using Evo to derail me. And I'm tired of you nitpicking for insults just because you're desperate to ban me. And again, I will explain again. No transphobia was seen at all. And I have it right here. Do you know why? Because correcting pronouns to make sure I respect you is not an insult against your identity. That's right. Oh, my bad. She, they is not an insult. It's correcting them to protect you, to respect you, and it's not transphobic. And I'm sorry, but if you're going to say that also about Plain Rock, then I guess Shane is transphobic. But you know what? Shane is defending you and cheating for your benefit. I'm done with this drama, Kobazco. You want to have a conversation? Why don't you stop making about everything else other than the drama that has to do with speedrun? Why don't you stop making about everybody else but yourself? Stop. I don't know what else more to say. I've had to go through stress after running this panel about everything coming down because you don't care about anything but yourself. You don't care about making anybody look good but you, Kobazco. And that is the truth. That is the fact. So, I'm sorry for getting hysterical, guys, but Kobazco is sick. Kobazco is horrible. And Kobazco is abusing their power as a mod to play victim to bully me. And because Kobazco is all sad and all sad, they're using this to basically hurt me. And I have autism on top of that, and I'm neurodivergent, and I can't even do anything as an adult because Kobazco is 24, and 24 is not a minor, Kobazco. And stop using Evo because Evo was my fan all along and you manipulated him for your benefit. So you're the one who's a predator. You're the one who's taking people out of context. I'm just trying to be nice and respect people, but you don't care. I'm tired of this. I had to go through all of this pain and suffering 7 years, Kobazco. You don't care to do your research. You just care to slander people. You just want to make the narrative to your benefit. You don't care about the story. You don't care about the facts. You don't care about the other side. You only care about is you. I'm really sorry for getting hysterical, guys, but I'm trying to do my best. Um, that's pretty much it for this video. Again, I apologize to Plain Rock. I apologize that Shane lied to you. I don't know what I can do. Kobazco, I had to tell all the PAX enforcers how you were bullying and harassing me online. Tweet after tweet after tweet after tweet, trying to make your vigilante. You're lucky I didn't run into any me saying anything, but there were plenty of people to harass me. I hope I never have to see you for my entire life. I don't care what conventions you go to, Kobazco. Go to anything you want. I'll leave you far alone. But don't even bother. Don't even bother to make it all about you. Because that's what you're doing. Anyway, guys, I'm done. I'm done here. I mean, I'm gonna say the typical YouTuber stuff. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching. Um, this was a headache and a half to have to go through. So Kobazco just wants to launch this narrative of I wish someone well as a form of offering something that I never offered. So again, I did nothing wrong here. Kobazco just knows that they can play the victim narrative because of the drama from 7 years ago. So anybody that has a brain will actually look at the facts. So I'm done here. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching. And Kobazco, competing in speedrun.com is not bullying and harassment. Don't make it all about you. Peace.